It's at their headquarters in central London, just here in Westminster, in fact. So with just over 4 weeks of campaigning ahead of us, it promises to be a fascinating contest. It'll be energetic, it'll be demanding, and the latest opinion polls show just how close the election could prove to be, because today's YouGov poll for The Sun suggests that the Conservatives have a 10-point lead, as does a survey by opinion research for the Daily Express. But have a look at this. Today's ICM poll in the Guardian newspaper does suggest that the Tories have a smaller lead, maybe up to 4 points over Labour. So considerable divergence then, certainly not a consistent theme in all of these polls. Our political correspondent Ben Wright has been looking at some of the themes that will define this campaign.
Britain deserves so much better than this.
I am not the kingmaker.
Take a long, hard look at them.
Scotland needs champions.
If you can't recite the slogans yet, then you will do soon. The fight for your vote has been rumbling on for months, but today the race enters its final straight. Gordon Brown wants to win his first general election as Prime Minister and a 4th term in office for Labour. That would be a first. David Cameron is campaigning for change in the first Conservative government for 13 years. Nick Clegg could be about to take his party into power if the contest produces a coalition government, the first for more than 30 years. Over the next few weeks, swarms of pavement-pounding canvassers will probably be coming to a street near you. Repairing the economy after the recession and repairing politics after the expenses scandal will probably dominate a campaign that looks like it could be the closest for many years.
The gap in all the opinion polls between the two major parties is so narrow. It's unpredictable because nobody knows how well the Liberal Democrats are going to do. Nobody knows how well the SNP and Plaid Cymru are going to do. It's all up for grabs.
In 650 constituencies at 42,000 polling stations, voters will make their choice on May the 6th. The Conservatives need to win 116 new seats for a majority, and one issue will determine if they do.
It is about the economy and who you trust to look after the economy and look after the pound in your pocket. As well as that, of course, public services, who is safe to look after the NHS, crime, immigration.
In Watford, the three main parties are slugging it out in one of the marginal seats that will swing the election. So are the voters fired up?
I wouldn't know when the election was, I have no interest in it, and I wouldn't know who to vote for the best.
To have reasonably priced, affordable childcare, the rights to have flexible working for young parents.
Economy is the main factor that I would go for.
The expenses scandal will cast a long shadow over this election. The reputation of politics has taken a pounding, and there could be several consequences, such as a surge in support for smaller parties.
As polling day gets closer, people are going to realise that actually they have an opportunity to have a voice, to decide on who's going to represent them.
Another first in this election will be the 3 live primetime television debates. Together with the use of the web in campaigning and covering the election, the contest will be unlike anything we've seen before.
Ben Wright, BBC News, Westminster.
Ben Wright there with some of the themes for us, and watching that with me our political correspondent Laura Koonsberg. Laura, we were in Downing Street this morning watching the comings and goings there. How will this campaign look and feel and sound different to previous ones?
Well, we've seen some of the traditional components, if you like, this morning. The Prime Minister going off to the palace and then giving what he hopes will be a rousing speech to the nation, asking for another chance at government. But there will be some important firsts in this campaign. It's the first time that any of the main party leaders have fought a general election in the top job. Neither David Cameron nor Nick Clegg nor Gordon Brown have actually gone into a campaign in this particular role before. Will they be able to keep up with the pace of it? That remains to be seen. It's the first time, of course, also we're going to have those TV debates, not just the ones between those 3 men, but also other big debates in Scotland, Northern Ireland and Wales. They could really transform things because they're a novelty, they're new. So there's going to be a huge amount of attention paid to them. Whether or not they really change the whole narrative, again, we just don't know. And of course, this is the first general election since the reputation of this whole place took a terrible battering with the expenses scandal. We don't know whether that will fire people up to go and vote or whether it will make them just want to switch off, ignore the whole thing and not turn out at all. And that all wrapped together, combined with the polls and us just beginning to crawl out of recession, means that for the first time in many years we are going into a general election campaign where the result feels genuinely uncertain. And that all wrapped together makes this very different to the last few.
Very interesting, Laura. Thank you very much. Laura Koonsberg there, our political correspondent, with just underlining the fact that there are lots of firsts in this campaign. We're going to have a look now at how the election is expected to play, what the themes are likely to be right across the United Kingdom. We'll have the latest from Brian Taylor in Edinburgh.